Hello YouTube world, Pretend Farmer here. Not a real farmer, just pretending. So the question for today is, do chickens fly? And if so, how high do they fly? How far will they fly? They're birds, they have wings. Naturally, you would assume chickens can fly. But this is not Jurassic Park, and you don't need a 200-foot tall fence to keep these little chickens contained. Let's get into it. Now, if you search for how high can chickens fly on Google, the first thing that you're going to see is the number of 10 feet. And they will tell you that a chicken can easily clear a 6-foot tall fence. Now, I found this to just not be the case here on the Pretend Farm. As you can see here, we have a chicken that's strutting alongside of about a 4-foot high fence. And you can kind of tell this chicken wants to get across there, but it's not attempting to fly over. The truth is, chickens are very likely to get across a fence, but typically their preferred method is to simply go under. As you can see, chickens don't need much of a gap at all to squeeze under, so it's really the best idea to bury your fence if you want to keep your chickens contained. So can chickens fly? Well, of course they can, but chickens are also lazy, so their fly is typically more of just an assisted jump with some flapping of the wings. So how high a chicken can fly depends a lot on the breed and the size of the chicken. Some chickens might be able to get more airborne than others naturally. Oftentimes, how high a chicken can fly depends on what's motivating them. I've seen my chickens take off and coast halfway across the yard airborne. I'm talking like 50, 60, 70 yards. But even then, they're typically only about a foot or two off the ground. Now, realistically, a 3-foot fence would probably keep in a chicken. I know a lot of people that buy the little 3-foot tall electric fences to keep their chickens in, and they don't even energize them. The chickens just don't even attempt to fly over that. Now, the safe thing is to go with a 6-foot fence. You get something like a predator like we have back here that gets after your chickens, and they're motivated, they can technically even fly out of a 6-foot high fence, but it's very unlikely. What you don't want is a fence like this, with a wooden rail going across the top. That wooden rail often might be enough encouragement for the chickens to fly up and perch on there. And once the chickens fly up and perch on that, then they'll go ahead and coast on down into your yard and get out. The reason I can get this to work for me is because it's got this overhead cage to keep the chickens from flying up and over. This fence here I had up long before I actually put the overhead netting over top of it, and I never had problems with them getting out. For some dumb reason, chickens love to get up against the fence and take a dust bath and kind of burrow down into the ground. So this is a good example here of why you want to kind of bury your fence as best as you can. The chickens will dig around along the side of the fence, they'll make little craters, and eventually they will get under it. Now, if you really want to see just how well your chickens can fly, I found there to be no better motivator than Cheez-Its. Oh, chicken! Man, that was intense. So can chickens fly? Yes, they can. But don't expect them to go anywhere. You're probably trying way too hard to keep them fenced in.